Welcome to Still Choosing You.
We're Thomas and Alyssa Nilsson, elementary school sweethearts, now husband and wife duo, and parents of 3.
This podcast is our space to talk honestly about faith, marriage, family, and the life we're building together in all its seasons.
No perfection, just real conversations and choosing each other every step of the way.
We're so glad you're here.
And we are back. Hello.
Hello, cutie.
That's what you said last week.
Well, it still stands. You're just a cutie.
I'm still a cutie?
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to know that my looks haven't diminished.
You have a good haircut this week, too.
I did get a haircut. I've been shaving lately.
Gotta try something new for job interviews.
I'm switching it up. The beard wasn't getting the job, but
should we try mustache next week?
No, that will get me sent to prison.
Oh my god!
I don't look good with a mustache. No, I don't. We've discussed. You need to have like darker hair.
Sure,
like the contrast between your face, like the skin complexion and the hair, needs to be pretty. Like we have a friend. He's got darker brown hair, and his looks good.
Yeah, I mean.
From your perspective, though, I think you would think a mustache looks good on anybody except your own husband.
You
just look like you dry heaved.
I just was trying to not laugh so hard. You've tried it before, and it's just a little questionable.
I didn't
it's all right.
try it. I did it one time while I was shaving the rest of my hair.
No, you went out in public with a mustache
for a day.
Settle the debate for us. We're gonna put this out there.
I mean, I can bring it back. I can rock it and bring it back. And
I'm just kidding. I was the one who brought it up, so I mean,
Oh man, what if I got a job with a mustache? I would keep a mustache forever.
Do you then have to keep it because that's your identity as you interview for a job, or can you change it up?
I don't know. I feel like once the papers are signed, sealed, and delivered, and you got the job, facial hair is not a guarantee.
Oh gosh.
In other words, more important things though.
I was gonna say, have a big announcement.
That I'm still jobless.
Happy 6 months of no job.
Almost exactly 6 months to the date now.
You're going LinkedIn famous today for your cute sarcastic post about it.
I've had a couple posts that do fairly well.
I've learned today that you can be a LinkedIn influencer and people actually make money. So you don't need a job. You can just do that.
I could. I just gotta find.
Everyone go follow Thomas Nilsson, LinkedIn.
Yep.
Is there do you have handles on LinkedIn, or is it just?
It's just your username. You just search my name, Thomas Nilsson.
Nilsen.
Hold on, you spell it out. We can't overlap each other. Go ahead.
Nilsen.
Also, you'll see Love the Nilsons. So that's how you spell it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Wow. What a journey of Dropey. It's an inside joke. Our kid wrote a 3-page book, and he called it The Journey of Dropey.
About a drop of water.
It's about a drop of water that goes on a journey. So whenever we say what a journey, we always go Journey of Dropey. But speaking of journey, how did you see God's hand in your life this week?
Well, I'll just be frank here and tell you that
I want you to be Alyssa, not Frank.
Frank's my grandpa, though. I love that guy.
But I don't want to be married to your grandpa. Sorry, go ahead. Dumb joke.
We were going to podcast yesterday. It didn't happen for various reasons. And so before podcasting, I always am I got to think about how I saw God's hand this week. And I was a little bit sad because I was struggling to know how I saw God's hand. And
we say this every week, but we need to be better about if in the moment we think, oh, I'm seeing God's hand, we need to write it down.
I know, but sometimes that's what I think the importance of us doing this reflection is, because sometimes it's in such simple moments that in that moment I don't even realize
that's fair
that's what's happening. Sometimes, yes, absolutely. I feel me and you have moments sometimes as parents where we're just soaking up our kids. It's just one of those moments where we look at each other and we're wow, this is a miracle and we're still blessed to be here. But truthfully, most of our God's hand moments that we discuss, I really don't feel in the moment I'm oh, this is it, and I just forget to write it down. It just kind of feels fleeting, or there's a lot of other things going on. So anyway, yesterday I just was man, and not that this week was overly bad, right? It just was it felt just kind of one of those lower job hunt weeks. Like, I don't know, like nothing crazy. It just felt a little low.
The
Life is full
momentum,
of,
the momentum was not there this
yeah,
week.
life is full of highs and lows. It's nothing big crazy. It was just like a little rougher days. Um, but today, so anyway, and I kind of just, once I couldn't really think of anything last night, I just kind of like moved on because I was sad, and I probably should have dug in more in that moment, but I didn't.
It's okay. It was a
And
rough day yesterday.
yeah, it's all right. We're better now after.
I was grouchy. I'll just say.
Yeah, it's okay. We're better after a good night's sleep. But today, I decided for whatever reason, and now I'm like almost wondering, I'm like, was this like a little like tug to like do something like this? But I decided it would be fun to kind of record a little like day in the life of, stay at home mom, because I've done it of day in the life of a working mom, and I want to do a stay at home mom one. And it was as I was like probably partway through the day, like around lunchtime, I had just taken we're talking like 1 second clips throughout the day of me just like getting breakfast for the kids and working out and doing hair and just all the things. And I immediately was brought back to, it had been a year and a half ago. I was in the middle of radiation cancer treatment, and I was just laying on our couch, or even maybe just sitting at our kitchen table while a friend of mine was cleaning our kitchen. And I remember watching her, and I mean, she was a mom as well. I think at the time she had like 3 kids, and she was cleaning the kitchen, and she was loading the dishwasher, and she was just like doing all these things. And I was watching her with my body just filled with so much fatigue. And I was watching my friend, and I just looked at her and I was like, did I used to have this much energy? And I said, will I ever have that much energy again? And she was just like, yes, you did used to have this much energy, and yes, you will have this much energy again. And as I was recording all of these like little 1 second clips today of me just doing like pretty mundane tasks, like today was nothing like crazy out of the ordinary, I was brought back to that moment. And then like, now here a year and a half later, doing those same things with the same kind of energy that my friend had, and realize that was God's hand of just showing me kind of this journey and like where I was and where I am today. And that was like such a small gift. And so then the rest of the day, with like all the little things that I was doing, I just like had a heart so full of gratitude that I could do all of these little things, and like these ordinary things today felt like miracles.
Yeah, I love that. You're back.
Yeah.
Guess who's back?
Yeah. What about you?
I was like you, and like having a hard time thinking of a moment where I felt God's hand or even his fingerprints. Like I feel like it's a good exercise for us to do this, because it causes us to reflect and like think and like notice, like maybe we didn't see it in the time, but now we're like, oh, hey, that was God's hand. For me, it was on last week. It was holiday. We had Memorial Day, and why are you laughing?
It was last week. It was holiday, and
we had a holiday. We're on holiday. We're on the holiday. Memorial Day, we got together with some friends, and it was just nothing fancy. We had packed some lunch. Nope. Dinner. Packed some dinner, and met at a park and played, and just a great time playing with them, and just a simple little thing that's like, that's God.
That's God.
That's God. Just, we have really good friends, and it's one of those friendships that's like, man, that was a God provided friendship. Like, it was from our time when we were in Arizona for just a brief time, but like now they've become lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And if that's what it, the whole purpose of us moving to Arizona was for, then obviously it will have been worth it. So
Absolutely.
Shout out to you guys. If you're listening, you know who you are. But yeah, just being with them was just like a little moment of like, you know what? Good friends.
Yeah.
Good friends that give you hope too, because he was recently laid off and he's already landed another job, and there's no jealousy or hard feelings at all. Like, whenever we get together with them, he's always like, can I talk about jobs? Like, how's it going? I'm like, yes, we can talk about it. And so it's not hard feelings at all. It's more like, a hopeful, like, all right, you did it, I can do it too. Like,
You can.
something's gonna land. We'll make it work somehow.
Yeah,
we've gone through harder things. This is hard, but you know, if you could trade trials with other people, you would realize that you want to keep your own. So,
yeah.
Speaking of trials, though, let's talk about a little project that we are kicking off. We've kicked it off on your LinkedIn. You do have LinkedIn.
I am not a LinkedIn.
Alyssa does not
Oh my gosh,
I'm struggling,
the grammar
man.
right now.
I am struggling.
You have not had a yogurt bowl yet.
I haven't. We don't have yogurt tonight. You've kicked it off on Instagram.
Yes.
This whole episode, we're just going to be talking about and promoting the Radiance Project. So why don't you tell the people about? You get such a big smile on your face. See, guys, I love seeing Alyssa light up, and there are a handful of things that cause her to just shine. And
looking at you, obviously.
And this Radiance Project is one of them. And so hit the people with what the Radiance Project is.
People. I won't hit them like our son hit his coach with the
oh my gosh.
Today
he got a hold of one, hit a line drive right at his coach's face, left him with a welt and his red eye.
That was ball size, like ball shaped.
And did you notice, like, sorry, we're getting sidetracked here. Did you notice that, like, they have different sized balls that he throws? Like,
I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
No.
So they have like smaller ones that are like about the size of a regular baseball, but then for like they like are having a harder time hitting, they have a little bit bigger one. It's like almost like a softball size.
Was it that one?
It was the bigger one.
The first few
it was the bigger one.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so back on track.
Anyway,
let me reintroduce it here.
No, it's okay.
Tell the people about the Radiance Project.
So, I mean, if you don't know, I feel like it needs just like a 30-second introduction.
I'm going to time you on this. 30 seconds.
I was talking about it on our Instagram tonight a little bit, but I mean, 3 years ago, our daughter was born. I got really sick. I nearly died. That was a whole like year-long journey of healing. And then 18 months after she was born, I got diagnosed with cancer. You know, throw all that out there. Before that, Thomas's mental health was a struggle. It's just been a little bit of a wild ride for our family. And we had a son with clubfoot, you know, whatever. I don't need to go on.
Suffice it to say, we've been and walked through our fair share of trials and walked through those hard seasons.
Yes, which, I mean, anybody listening has in their own way.
Everybody
right?
has, yeah.
But it was a year plus after she was born that we just started being able to look back a little bit more and see all of the miracles that had happened in our life. And see all of the people who were part of our miracles. I mean, during that time, we were truly carried. It's like the true story of like footprints in the sand, where it's like there's two and then there's one, and it was kind of like, oh God, like where the heck were you? Like there was only one set of footprints, and that's how I felt while all of this was happening. I felt like I was just walking
you gotta finish a story for those that don't know the story. Like you just
I know. That's what I'm saying. So that's like I felt like I was walking alone, like the footprints in the sand, and it's like, well, where were you, God? And he was like, well, I was carrying you.
Those are my footprints.
And those were my footprints of what you were seeing. And that's when we started to look back on everything that had happened. We started realizing that was exactly us. Like I mean, especially me, I had felt very just like forgotten. I felt in the dark. Everyone was talking about all these miracles that had happened. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like my life just felt I was in the complete darkness, truly. But once I started to be able to find the light a little bit more and was able to look back, I saw that our life was truly blessed by so many people around us. And I just wasn't, my brain couldn't quite wrap around it at the time. And so July or so, after the year after she was born, we had the chance to go back to the hospital where I had been for a while and bring a bunch of donations that we had collected. And we got to like meet with the doctors. It was like a whole setup thing. It was awesome. And that kind of just like sparked my love. And
if I may, leading up to that, we had done a little bit of a donation drive collecting some goods. I don't think you mentioned that. You mentioned we got to go back.
Got to go
as part of that visit. We brought like a wagon full of coloring books, pages, gear for anybody in the hospital, it was focused on women's health, I think, women in the hospital, just things that you would have liked to have. We raised money and bought, you know, a wagon full of stuff to donate.
It was a lot of stuff. It was
pretty good for the first year.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. But that just like really sparked my interest. And so that was July of that year. And then it was only a month later, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Like 2 months. Yeah. It was in September.
Yeah. And so we had just had this like beautiful light-filled experience where we got to bring these donations and, you know, go and say thank you to these medical providers and work together with our community and our family to collect all of these donations to bring to the hospital. And then just right after that experience, we were in the thick of it again.
Yeah.
And once again, our family was truly carried. Like I had to make like a sign up list for childcare for when I went through radiation, and I sent out this like Excel spreadsheet to some of our friends. I think literally within 1 minute it was filled, and we had like all the days that we needed to have our kids be taken care of. We had countless meals. Like, I mean, we could go on about how we were helped during that time, but it just made us realize, like, once again, how important people and service was to us when we were going through like such a hard time. And so luckily, you know, we finished all of that, all the cancer things right before Christmas time. And so then our daughter's second birthday, I was like, you know what? We need to do this again, but we're
up in the ante.
Yeah, we need to do it bigger, and we need to focus on like individual families, because the first time was great. We got to bring all those donations and it was wonderful, but it wasn't like specific to like certain people necessarily. And so, and now we had the experience of like the mental health aspect and like the septic shock, like postpartum complications and the cancer. And so we wanted to include, you know, more families and more hardships rather than just focusing on like women in the hospital. Although happy to still like help and donate with stuff like that. So it was just last year that we put out a nomination form and just said, hey, we're going to sell these t-shirts. We're going to collect money to make these like Radiance baskets for families. Honestly, don't you think last year was like turned out way bigger and better than like I could have ever even
We had a lot of participation. We had a lot of nominees, which were incredibly difficult to come through and select. Hard. We ended up choosing 6.
I need to look. Like when I sit down, I can remember each family. But yeah, it was like 5 or 6
5 or
families.
6 that we were able to, out of, I think we ended up with 25 nominations last year. 25, 30.
Plus, yeah.
And it was a very prayerful thing. Like we thought, like we obviously wish we could have made a basket for everybody because that would be ideal. But we made it a prayerful experience, and you know, involved him in the decision-making process. And we'll do the same thing again this year. We've got a couple, what are we up to? 4? We're up to 4 nominations thus far.
Put the link out. We might have did we just get 5 or something? But yeah,
it's kicking off slowly. I mean, that's why we're doing this podcast too, in part to kind of promote that, because we need your help. Like, it's not something we can do on our own. Like, we know people that we could probably put together a basket for, but it's just that much more meaningful when we can extend our reach and touch more hearts than we could just on our own.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing it again. And I mean, I think our main focus is families, going through hard times. And last year, I want to give an example too of like some of the things that were in the Radiance baskets. I was looking through, like I had an Excel spreadsheet last year where I kind of kept track of each person's baskets and like what was put in it. We had like an incredible amount of donations, which I'm excited to try and do again this year.
Like from local companies.
Yeah, from local companies, from friends who like have little companies. So, I mean, we had some like herbal remedies in there from a friend who runs her own little company. We had somebody drew some pictures of Christ for each basket. So we had like a little canvas of Christ in each one. We had a few gift cards from local companies that they donated, some like wellness certificates that some people gave us. We had
Just
some,
ingredients put together, like protein, two different
protein and
bags.
electrolytes, I think.
Yeah,
from
like,
Just
and put it together in a really
Ingredients.
nice, well put together bag too. They didn't just hand us the protein powder. So shout out
Yeah.
Just Ingredients.
Yeah.
If you want to sponsor our podcast too, we'll gladly take you.
And I had a few more. I can't remember right now.
Fika
Yeah, that was the wellness one.
reflexology. Yeah.
But yeah, and some of that was like people reaching. Oh, we had blankets.
Sourdough.
Your cousins donated
Oh,
blankets.
that's right. I forgot about the blankets. Yeah, blankets, sourdough, skills.
What's your blanket company name?
It is called
Oh my gosh.
Sundance Quilting Co.
No, that's not their blanket. That's their quilting
Oh, the dreamy
we just
blankets.
got one. Okay, yeah,
Dreamy
like
blankets.
we just got one for our son for his baptism. Dreamy blanket. So they donated some. You're right, sourdough. Anyway, we had like so many donations. It was wonderful. So then we were able to use the money we had raised to then buy some more gift cards. I bought like some families some really special jewelry that kind of went with their situation. I bought a bunch of teens.
If I could just interject here and compliment you. You worked so hard last year, so hard to make it so personal. Yeah. Like there were some generic things across the board, like you mentioned, like the gift cards, the Just Ingredients, blankets, like still super helpful and amazing. But then like with that extra money, like you were talking about, like you just had like the most caring heart, like trying to put together these, like we had a family that was, they spoke English, but they were from Brazil and they were Portuguese speaking. And you found like these special bracelets that were like, I love you in Portuguese, and like you just made it so special for them, and people noticed that. Like I noticed that firsthand as your husband. It was so neat to be able to see your heart in action, like seeing your heart in those baskets.
Yeah. And I think that was my biggest thing is during our trials, I felt really unseen, and that didn't have anything to do with the lack of like help or anything on our part. It was just my own like mental well-being and my physical well-being. I was just not in a good place, and so to be able to do what I can to make these people feel seen in these moments was like so important to me, because I wanted them to make sure that they knew that they were not alone, that there was light, that they could be seen for what they were going through. And as you're talking about that, I got a little teary-eyed because that family, while we were working on these baskets, I was in really close contact with a family member of theirs. And literally days before I was supposed to deliver the baskets, their mom passed away. And it was just such like a tender time. I got to go visit them, probably like a week or two after the funeral and everything for their mom, and like the spirit there was so strong. And so anyway, I mean, we had like some really incredible experiences that we got to have, like delivering these baskets to these families. And that's why I want to do it again. And I think too, I was kind of like chuckling because as I was listing out the families, like the types of situations that, families might be in for people to nominate them, one of them was like financial strain. And I was like, man, like we could look at ourselves and probably be like, we could use one of these. But the thing is, like, yeah, we probably could. We don't need one. We're fine.
This is not a cry for help.
No,
or
no.
a solicitation
for help.
But
it's just like, I think it's so important right now for me, especially, to just like look outward and not worry about our own problems right now, because yes, is not having a job or any income a pretty big problem for us to have?
Of course.
Yeah, but like, are some of these things already, like some of the nominations that I've read, I'm like, yeah, like I will take our joblessness right now, or like they have this so much harder than we do right now. And so it just really turns our hearts towards them. And I mean, we know from the scriptures, like, when you're in the service of your fellow beings, you're only in the service of your God.
I saw that firsthand last year when we were delivering these. Like, I went with you to probably 4 out of,
you came to
most of them. There's a couple that you just went to because I was at work.
Yeah.
But it was every time we went and delivered one, like the love for that we had for these people, and that the people that had donated had for these people without knowing them, like it was just like a palpable feeling of like love, and like it was sad too, because like it was hard things that these people were going through, but like more than anything else, it was just like an overwhelming feeling of love in each of these deliveries. And I look forward to that again this year. Like you said, like God's hand is in the details of these baskets, and it's a cool opportunity for us, I feel like, to, like you said, like we're going through our own problems and struggles and trials, but like, you know, as we turn outward, like I feel like it's an opportunity, not like our problems are magically solved or all of a sudden, like we're not doing this because after we've delivered that last basket, I'm going to get that dream job offer. Like we're not doing this at all for that reason, but like more just like to turn outward and, you know, forget ourselves for a moment. And it's just been incredible, you know, the last couple of years that we've done this, and now this current year that we're doing it, like it's so neat to be able to just, you know, feel the excitement leading up to the basket deliveries, and like the, you know, the organization, and like it's awesome to see people rally behind a cause too. And it's not like we raise millions of dollars by any means, but like
one day
one day that's the goal. But like it was a satisfying feeling to be able to feel like we weren't solving their problems, but we were providing a glimpse of our Savior's love for them. So was there a quote that you wanted to share as we wrap up here?
Oh, yes, but I also wanted to say too that I just was thinking as you were talking about that, I feel like if you're listening and you're like, oh, I don't have like the bandwidth, or I don't know how to raise money, or I can't like spend all this time doing this, I think it's important to remember that like we can be the Savior's hand and like earthly angels to people in our day-to-day lives in like the most simple
doesn't have to be a huge
ways.
Project like this.
Like I remember there were times where like people would just drop off like a rotisserie chicken to our house, and that was like exactly what we needed that day. Or just like really simple text messages, or like, hey, let me come clean your kitchen, or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be like this big service project that we do with like, you know, we have like almost $2,000 right now that we get to use for this. But like you can make just as much of an impact in your day-to-day life by just, you know, helping and serving and loving your neighbors too. So just wanted to say that. But I just was thinking of just trials as we talk about this. And I was reading my scriptures this morning, and I was doing some study, and it was just talking about some of the trials that people go through, which, I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for, families who are going through hard times right now. And it was talking about how, you know, everybody's going to have different trials, and not everybody is going to always have the answer to their prayer how they think they will have it. Okay, so it says, sometimes we imagine that our life should follow a clear path from beginning to end. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line after all, and yet life is often full of delays and detours that take us in unexpected directions. And then later on, it talks about how in the Bible it was talking about how Hannah was longing for a child, and she eventually got one, which isn't always the case. So it says, of course, not everyone who prays for a child receives one, and not everyone whose spouse dies remarries, but everyone who turns to the Savior receives his help and guidance. And I just love that, because we are all praying for something, and these people who we want to bring these baskets to, they are all praying for something. And I'm not saying that these baskets are necessarily going to like change the course of their life or change the course of their trial, but my hope is that as we turn to the Savior, and as hopefully these people who we can eventually bring these baskets to turn to the Savior, that we will feel his help and guidance. And that's what I hope these baskets are, just like a glimpse of our Savior's love and our Savior's help in their lives. So that is our goal this week. So if you can help us, if you can think of anybody in your life who just could use a little bit more light, who could use a little bit more of our Savior's love, or just encouragement, or just you feel like they've been going through a lot of hard things, please reach out. Please nominate them. We can include the nomination link in the show notes. Yep. And we just hope that you'll join us in bringing light to some more families. So
I love that.
Yeah. Until next week, love the Nilsons.
See you guys.